everyone, welcome back to another episode of Breaking Character. My name is Jordan-Paige. I'm the show creator and host. Thank you so much for tuning in to the show today. I am so excited to have Riley Cohen on the show today. I just realized Riley hasn't sent me her bio just yet, so please see this next clip of future me putting in Riley's bio. Future me here, and I am here with Riley's bio. Riley Cohen, She Series, is an actor, writer, and filmmaker. Originally from Atlanta, she is completing her degree in theater and media and screen studies at Northeastern University in Boston. Selected work experiences include HLN in New York and PA work in Los Angeles. Selected performing credits include Deferred, Adrian, Love and Information, Actor 1, Strangers in Proximity, Olive, No Jokes Improv, and If Found, Please Return, Charlotte. Riley is currently developing theater, new media, and film projects. Also, her favorite film is My Own Private Idaho, and if you haven't seen it, she thinks you should probably go check it out. So without further ado, let's head to Zoom. All right, everyone, I am so excited to be here today with Riley. Riley, how are you doing?
I'm a little bit sleepy, but I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good. I can't complain. So yes, I am super excited to have you on the show. And I guess I should say here to the audience who is going to be watching this, yes, the screen is a little different. I have us in gallery view because my Zoom is being weird. If you've seen like the last 2 episodes, I don't know what it's been doing. So I figured gallery view is the way to go. So that's how today will be. So let's get this started with 2 truths and a lie. I'm going to attempt to guess which one the lie is that you tell me. And I have not been having great luck the past few times. So we'll see if I get it right. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. So I was a cheerleader for 5 years. I worked on a project with Paul McCartney, like not directly with him, but he was the main talent and I was also there and I saw him, that kind of thing. And I convinced a bunch of people at a pizza place that I only had one eye.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh gosh. I am gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that the first one's the lie, but I don't know how confident I am on that. That's my final guess. No, dang it!
Nope,
Which was
I
the
was
lie?
a cheerleader for 5 years. Technically it's the Paul McCartney one. I worked on a Ringo Starr project. So just kind of
switch that
twist
name.
it just a little bit.
Dang it. You got me there. Also, how did you convince people that you only had one eye?
I was at like a pirate themed event and I had an eye patch on and then I just didn't take it off when we went to get pizza at the end of the night. And when I walked in, a bunch of people went yarg, and I wasn't wearing like a pirate outfit. It was more like pirate inspired. So I simply was like, yeah, I only have one eye and the eye patch is a better story than the glass eye. And they were like, no way. And then I just continued to lie about it. I thought it was hilarious and it didn't hurt anyone, so who cares?
That is hilarious. That's amazing. I love that. That is epic. So into our actual questions, you mentioned that you have a 1-person show that you're working on. So what can you tell us about the show and what has that experience been like?
So right now it's called Ocular. I don't know if we're going to stay that way because it's still in development. But it's about like the process of waiting, especially through the lens of waiting for a medical diagnosis, which I feel like everyone has either had or knows somebody who has. And like I personally have a lot of experience with it, both myself and my family. And so I was like, great, let's explore this through a piece of text. And then that eventually became a piece of like performance text. And yeah, it's kind of a crazy process because it really touches on some things that I was like, I'm not sure if I'm ready to deal with this in front of an audience, but I'm dealing with this in front of an audience now. So hopefully it goes well. Yeah, it's like about 45 minutes. I finished a draft of the text and one of my friends is helping to develop it for one of her projects. So we're working on it in tandem and we're planning on doing like a prepared reading kind of performance, an in development performance at the end of March. Yeah, but it's been a lot. It's also interesting like what things from the text don't get latched onto until they're read out loud because we were talking about, I wrote like a hospital waiting room. Originally, I was just calling it waiting, but that was too on the nose, and so I was looking for a better title. And I'm really happy. I'm actually really happy with Ocular. Love words with two meanings, and so I decided to take that one, and then the things that she just like didn't comprehend until she heard them out loud a couple of times were like really interesting. And so the question for me is like, are those things that I want to leave kind of, you need to listen to it a couple of times or really be like actively listening to it, or are those things that I want to try and punch home more? And just like the other things that like stuff comes up that you've blocked out or you don't remember, and then as you're talking about it, it starts to kind of, oh yeah, like re-access that. And so I'm wondering, what am I going to add in from that, because it's already pretty long and she wants me to memorize it, and I was like, oh dude, you want me to memorize 50 minutes for a, I will try. And I guess I did it to myself, but oh gosh, it's a lot of stuff. But yeah, so that's the project right now.
That's awesome. I think that takes so much courage, just a one person project. And also, as you said, on a subject matter that means a lot to you and you have a lot of experience with. I was just thinking earlier today on sort of that same thing of, there's a script that I'm going to start working on that is also like a very much like, wow, that is that's the thing. So I'm like, I have to actually dig to write it. And so I think that's awesome. And for that, for yours, it's in front of an audience. Like that is, it's right there. It's in the moment. It's, yeah, I give you so much credit. But that sounds like that's going to be so awesome. And I can't wait to hear updates, because that sounds so cool.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it to like happen and oh, that's my Discord. That's embarrassing. I'm really excited for it to like happen and be performed and like be like physically manifested, and to see where it goes from there, because it didn't start as like a linear thing. It started as a series of vignettes and then got kind of like woven together, and I don't really write that way normally. So yeah, different.
It'll be a fun experiment. That sounds like, for sure. Oh, super cool. And then you also mentioned that you're also working on a proof of concept video. So could you tell us, if you can, what it's a proof of concept for? No worries if you can't. And how is working on proof of concepts different than other film projects?
So it's it's like my senior thesis on the film side of things, and I won't go into too much detail because the reason it's a proof of concept is it's a little bit complicated, and I didn't really like how I was like, I don't have enough time to make it like a really solid final project, but I'm really happy with the concept. It took me a while to conceptualize it, so I was like, I really want an example to show other people that yes, this can work. You should give me money to do it this time. And so I guess the difference between working on, it's a series of 4 videos and they're kind of like Bandersnatchy, but that's as
Okay.
much as I can like say about it
Oh
without
my gosh,
being
I totally
too
forgot
obvious.
Bandersnatch. I totally forgot Bandersnatch existed for a hot second. I'm so glad you just said that. Sorry, please continue.
No, 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 don't apologize. But yeah, so basically the difference between like a proof of concept and the final video for me is just the quality of the work. Like for a proof of concept, it doesn't need to be like mild continuity errors in the visual, not so bad. The color correction does not need to be I'll color correct it, but I don't need to like do coloring work on it to make sure that it's got this like tint to it. Um, if the camera's a little bit wonky, the camera's a little bit wonky, that kind of thing. It's more just like the script is solid, the way that the scripts work together works, and it's shorter. So the total project, each video will be about 5 minutes, and so it'll be about a 20-minute watch through, but hypothetically it could be like the videos could be up 15, 20, 30. It gets like more complicated because of details and that kind of thing with the way that the script works. But the idea is this isn't something that I'm going to like push to all my friends and family and be like, watch this, check this out. This is something that like when I have a longer script for it, and I'm ready to pitch it, I'll be like, look, see, it does work because it's a little bit it's the same reason that TV shows are constantly redoing doctor shows, because people watch doctor shows. It's like a proof of concept and they just do a new one, but there's no like proof of concept for a new project. And so if you want to invest big money, you need to prove that it can work at least a little bit. And so that's what I'm doing, hopefully.
That's awesome. That sounds super, super interesting. And I literally, I can't get over, I cannot believe that I totally forgot that Bandersnatch was like a thing. That was a huge thing. And now I'm like, you brought back all these memories. I should like, it was precisely the reason I've only watched Bandersnatch once, and it's because I could not mentally handle watching it again so soon. So I loved it so much. So hearing you say that yours is sort of in a similar, the complication of it is kind of similar to that, and that's really cool. And I hope the proof of concept goes well, and when you are pitching it in the future, you can say, look, it worked out really, really well here, this is how I know it's gonna work.
It's my Vimeo showcase, please like it. Yeah,
please like it and watch it. I know it's gonna be great. It's gonna be so awesome. So my wild card question has nothing to do with anything at all, totally random. What is one thing that your family would be surprised to learn about you?
I feel like there are a lot, and I'm not sure how many of them I want them to know at this point.
Fair,
So
completely fair.
that is a really good question. And yeah, I feel like I need to think about that. Um, and like my family is I have some family in like Georgia and some in California, and so I feel like those two sets of people would be very surprised to learn different things about me.
True. We can
Ooh,
always come back around to it if you want. We can come back around to it at the end.
yeah, I might need to think about that one.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Put
And
some
so
thought
that'll
in.
take us right into memory association. So the way memory association works is I have got my random word generator pulled up here on my phone. I'm going to generate a good word. Sometimes it takes a bit, but I'm going to wait until we get a good word. And then we're both going to share the first memory that comes to our mind that we're willing to share when we hear that word. So our word, oh, look, good one on the first try. What a shocker. Our word is constellation.
Ooh. Okay. I will go. So I'm in Boston right now, and the Museum of Science here has a program in their planetarium where they have like laser shows in the planetarium associated with an album. And on Friday night for one of my friend's birthday, the theme was bottom of the closet, and we all like accidentally showed up in decades wear. So like the birthday person was in like a 50s inspired kind of outfit. My friend Adam was in a 60s inspired outfit. I was very 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000. Like there was like 6 or 7 of us, and we managed to run the gamut. And then we went and saw the laser show for the Pink Floyd album, The Wall, and it was about half of it was abridged because that's a really long album. It was like 40 to 50 minutes. But it was in the planetarium, and they also had like besides just the laser show, they had a lot of like stars and constellations and stuff going, and they were like traveling through one of their planetarium shows, which might have been too much stimulation with the two things together, but the whole experience was a lot of fun. Yeah.
That sounds super cool. I also thought of a planetarium, and there's one here in Georgia, and I'm not going to remember the name of it right now, but it is somewhere here, and I just have this vivid memory of watching one of the shows inside the planetarium as well, and can't tell you at all what they were talking about, what we were speaking of, but I just remember just the view of like the stars, or I guess the fake stars. I just was
Yeah.
mind blown. I absolutely loved, and I now I want to go back there because I have not been there in years and years and years. So I really do need to go back.
Was it Fernbank?
I don't know.
I
Oh
feel like they have a
gosh.
planetarium there. I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
been to a planetarium in a long time since like last weekend. Before that was
See,
quite
and
some
I'm the
time.
same way. Is like I really maybe it's like it might even be like a science museum with a planetarium. That might be what it is. I'm googling it right now because I'm so curious. In Georgia. Wow, if I could type, that'd be great. I obviously cannot. Don't you just love when your Google searches are so weird? This is Science Museum in Georgia with planetarium.
I've been playing a lot of those like daily games, like
the Tellus Science Museum. That's it.
oh, nice. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. My Google searches, like I've been playing a lot of those like daily games. So at midnight, it's like Wordle, Worldle, Nerdle, Absurdle, Waffle. You know, like I'm just like hitting all of them. And one of my friends made fun of me for it the other day, and then at midnight last night, she texted me and she was like, "Okay, so I'm playing them. I'm playing them."
Oh, I
And
love
then
that.
on top of that, it's like Hosier height, Nicholas Braun height, because I'm always like, wait, those guys are really tall, right? And then I look them up and they're like 6'6". And I was like,
Yep.
so tall. Imagine being that tall. Could not be me.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Okay, so my next question, you are prepping to move, you said too, which is always a big thing. So what is auditioning like with all of the absolute hecticness that comes with moving?
Well, I will not show you the floor of my room right now because I'm not proud of it, but you can see like that's my backdrop and my face above my ring light and stuff, and my camera bag is actually right here on the ground, and I've got everything. And so I'm mostly auditioning in the place where I'm moving to right now because that's easier. And I'm moving back home, so I do technically have local housing there. And for a project that's paid, I can kind of like, I'm also visiting my family, you know? And so if they're like, we can't pay for your transportation, for the most part, it's like, okay, it's if it's only a couple of months beforehand, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever. I'll pay for the flights, go see my family. They'll appreciate it, do the job, come back. And that way for reoccurring gigs, that stops becoming a problem. But I've been auditioning as a local hire there because I am. And then I'm not auditioning so much up here except for student stuff. Like I'm willing to be unpaid up here right now, which, you know, not getting paid sucks, but it is what it is. As long as you're like, if I'm working with my friends, then that's fine. You know, like if we work together on stuff, that's just kind of the trade-off for passion projects. I'm not going to audition for any professional stuff that's not paid. That's not going to do it for me.
And most of the time with SAG, you know, not legal if it's that professional.
Well, it's not SAG, so that's
it's the professional level of not SAG, but yeah.
So it's mostly just been like, I'm not leaving my camera up because this room gets so much motion that I'm really scared of it getting knocked over or falling when I'm not here. And our upstairs neighbors are super loud. So it's like, what if they shake the room to the point where it falls and then I have to come back to a broken camera? Tragedy. But it's pretty typical. I've been moving a lot in my college experience. I did a semester or like a summer abroad in 2019 pre-COVID, and then I moved to New York at the beginning of 2020 also pre-COVID, and then got COVIDed out of New York basically, and then I was in North Carolina for summer 2020 working, and then back to Boston, and then I did Los Angeles for summer 2021, and so it's always been kind of like touch and go, so I feel pretty used to it at this point. Yeah.
Dang, I give you credit. That's a lot of moving. And as someone who has only moved, how many times have I moved in my life? 1, 2, 4. But those 4 times have been within the past 3 years, 2 years, 2.5 years. So I prefer to not do it anytime soon. So I give you so much credit for being able to be willing to pack up and do that type of stuff, because it's not a fun time.
It's challenging, and I still haven't learned how to like pack correctly. I always overpack every single time.
I always
without
overpack too, with everything, vacations, moving, everything. I will sit and stare at something that I have not touched in 3 years and be like, but what if I need it? No, you don't.
Exactly. That's how I feel with certain clothes. I'm like, but what if I decide to wear it? I'm like, or what if it fits me all of a sudden magically? I'm like, it's not going to fit you. It hasn't fit you for 3 years. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
You don't even think about it until the question is, are you going to get rid of it? So just get rid of it.
there's only been a few shirts in my lifetime or few clothing items that I think back now and I'm like, why did I get rid of that? Like I used to have this really like comfy blue shirt that said New York on it and I was like, why did I get rid of that? I would like to wear that now. Why did I get rid of it? But out of that's like 5 pieces of clothing out of the however many that I have gotten rid of from my teenage, years. So I definitely get that though. I think I'm probably in need of a closet clean out soon-ish, but not super super soon. Probably when we get back into fall again of this year. I'm going to pay close attention this spring and summer to like what I actually wear and then what I don't wear because there are things I guarantee in there that I don't wear anymore.
Yeah, I actually have like one of those apps where you digitize your closet and it's a super big like onboarding process, not to use corporate language, but I don't know what else to do. Like like the beginning of it takes a long time to like take photos of everything. And I also put in to the app like what is the care instructions in case I end up cutting out the tag and it's something weird like dry clean. And you can go in and there's a calendar function and you can like put in the clothes you wore every day. And so that kind of, if it's been a while since I've worn something, then I have like physical proof that I don't wear it. And if it's not like a specialty thing, then I'm like, get rid of it. You don't wear it. You know you don't wear it. You can't convince yourself that you wore it and forgot.
You have
Toss
proof
it.
right
So,
there.
yep.
I did not know those apps exist. I might need to look into that. That's amazing. So now I want to ask, could you give some advice to those that are watching? This could be career advice, life advice, whatever you'd like to give.
Yeah. Your notes app in your phone is your best friend. Anytime you have an idea or anything, notes app. I mean, I have 1,000 things in there. I'm on an improv troupe. I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet because it feels like most of my personality nowadays. Aren't into it. Man, improv and Discord in the interview.
Improv's the
But
best. I love improv.
I love improv, but it is deeply embarrassing sometimes. In a good way. It's just like as long as you're self-aware, I feel. So, but we did a bit yesterday that ended up becoming like a feudal food system, and I was like, feudalism, if you will. I was like, that could be a really funny like sketchy or comedy universe for something. I have a lot of quotes in here too, like I've been reading Sarah J. Maas' Throne of Glass series lately, and in Empire of Storms, there was a really good quote. The world will be saved by the warriors, by the men and women who will spill their blood for it, not for empty promises and gilded dreams. And I was like, that feels really topical right now. Um, Mark that one down. I have Cam robbing bank play. Don't know why it's there. That will spark a memory. And then it's like just a bunch of random things like that. This one says trust exercises and blood in the water, but sometimes they'll like kind of, and then sometimes it's just a number and you're like, okay, I've completely forgotten what this
What
means.
that's
I have one
for.
that just says 22. That could be anything. But BTS at a TV show. Not sure what that means. I did know it one time because I wrote it down. But just kind of like that kind of kid knees. Like there's stuff in there. And so every single time that there's something that's like idea, or if there's something that I see and I'm like, that's kind of interesting, like take a photo and put it in my notes app. And then it ends up in this like compilation of tons and tons of ideas that I go to when I need to spark something. But if you have an idea, always write it down because you never know if you're going to remember it, and it could be your like best idea of the week, so why let it escape? It could also be awful, but you
You
got to
never
start.
know.
Exactly, you need the dichotomy. You can't have good without bad. So
There. I definitely agree with that advice. The Notes app is also my saving grace for multiple different things. So when things get tough or when things get hard, what pushes you to keep going?
um it kind of depends because it depends on like why it's getting hard. I would say. And there's a balance between pushing through something and then like torturing yourself. Like there's definitely an impulse, and I had this impulse I think about in high school, how hard I pushed myself. And then honestly, of the few things COVID has been good for me personally, which feels weird to say because of how bad it was, but like I can't do that anymore. Like I can't just force myself through things. And so I have to pick and choose what's important. And that's why I haven't gone through my email in a week, because I work all day and my personal email is like impossible to get through. But I don't know, I feel like I really just want to make something meaningful for other people at some point. That's something that I love about film and television and digital, that kind of thing, over theater, is the distribution. Because everybody in the world could hypothetically see your project as it is that you're seeing it, hypothetically. One of the beauties of theater is that everybody's experiencing it spatially, but film is kind of outside of that like spatial and time constraint. And that distribution means that a message can like carry, my desk is so old, like like that distribution can like carry away and do that kind of thing. And like to create something that is meaningful for another person, maybe that you've never even met, would be really cool. And so all the steps to get there. The other thing that's kind of less airy and more grounded and a little bit morbid is not the right word, but dark, is I recently learned that Russia has uploaded a bunch of malware to our electrical grid. And the only thing that's stopping them from pulling that is we've done the same to them. And so it's less like, what can I accomplish in my lifetime and what can I accomplish before the grid goes down?
Oh my God.
Which seems a lot shorter. And so I'm like, if I'm laying in bed, I'm like, what if the grid goes down tomorrow? And then I get up to accomplish something. Both of those things together. It depends on.
I didn't know that.
I hang out with like my friends are computer science people, and sometimes they'll just kind of drop weird knowledge. I'm like, I believe you. Sounds bad, sounds real.
Might as
Sure,
well. I mean, if you can use it as some motivation stuff, just, might be good for something.
Yep. I'm gonna type on my silly little computer and hope that the electricity stays with me. So.
Oh my gosh. And then I would say lastly, but not lastly, since we're going to go back to the wild card question,
back,
but
yeah.
where can people follow you and keep up with what you do?
You can follow me on Instagram, which I don't post on that much, and I really should post on more. And that's at RI_COHEN. You can follow me on Twitter, which I really don't post on because I'm in the process of making a public Twitter and a private Twitter. And right now everything's just pushing to private. I just need to figure out what I'm comfortable with making public. And I believe that's the same username. And then, yeah, pretty much everything. I think I have, my TikTok is not exactly my TikTok username is great though. It's Guyliner Stan account. I love that username. I'm really happy with it.
That's awesome.
And I don't have a lot of content there, but I'm hoping to like churn it up once I'm outside of school and in like a 9 to 5 kind of situation. Well, I won't be a 9 to 5. It'll probably be bartending or something. But once I have like a more solid schedule that's not school homework, blah, 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 and I'm hoping to kind of amp that up a little bit. But I'm pretty sure that at least my Instagram has a link tree to everything in it.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, I'll be sure to put all of that in the description below so everyone can go check it out. And now returning back to what is one thing your family would be surprised to learn about you?
I still haven't had a good, if I'm gonna just go in, I improv, Discord, I play D&D, and I don't think that that's the shocker because they know, but the amount that I've spent on dice is deeply embarrassing.
That's the shocker.
And my problem is I really need like a parental control on Kickstarter, because I like get on Kickstarter and there's like 1,000 dice Kickstarters, and I'm like, but I'm getting a better deal than if I got it in a store, and they're really nice and blah blah blah. And so I don't even have all my dice here. I have at least like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 7 sets of dice at home in Atlanta.
Oh no.
I have a couple more on the way because I just got an email that one of my Kickstarters just got funded. But that one I bought as like a combo gift for myself and one of my friends who's really into sea shanties. I was like, well, I'm gonna get a better deal on shipping if I buy 2 sets for myself. But I have like these ones that I really like. I don't know if you can
Ooh,
see, it's
yeah.
purple and blue. I guess we're doing a really quick dice tour.
I'm so excited. I love this.
This one I think is called Bird of Paradise, but it's supposed to be optimized for like
Ooh,
colorblind people.
that's
I'm
cool.
not colorblind, but I was like, that's kind of cool, support it. This one is like a barn owl inspired, also supposed to be
Wow.
optimized for colorblind people, same Kickstarter. This one was a gift from my little sister. It's
Ooh,
white with gold. Um, Hold on. Got a lot of sets of dice. This,
I
like I
love this.
said, glow in the dark
Ooh,
set. I actually got my wisdom teeth out in December, and one of my friends makes dice, and she was like, if you send me your wisdom teeth, I will make dice out of them. And I was like, oh, perfect. That's the best thing to do with them. Otherwise, I just have teeth sitting around my desk, which is what I have at home. These 2 sets are inspired by Nordic gods.
oh,
Green and
those are
purple.
so pretty.
I don't know which Nordic gods they are. I have the cards somewhere, but I don't remember. These sets are also inspired by like Nordic or Celtic gods, but a Kickstarter that was later, and they're like kind of glittery, I guess. There's a purple one
Ooh.
and red,
Oh, that red is such
and
a cool color.
it's kind of like green and blue. And the joke is that I haven't played D&D in person since 2020, before the COVID pandemic. I've played a little bit online, but you don't need dice to play online because you have Google.
You're just preparing. You're just preparing to play a whole ton in person when you can or want to again.
Exactly. I love it. They bring me a lot of joy. And as far as things to collect, it's that. And then I also collect like precious stones a little bit. But that's expensive. So the dice is more attainable. But probably
More
how much I spent
obtainable.
on dice, which is a lot. I don't really need to guess on that one because I know it's more than I should have. So
Fair, fair. But hey, there are worse things to spend your money on, like drugs.
that's true.
You
Like
know,
drugs.
it's not drugs. So I think that's a win. That's a win. Well, it has been so awesome talking to you. Those are all my questions. So thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, I am super excited for this to go up. So I'm going to click stop on the recording and we are going to head out of Zoom. Thank you all so much again for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed. If you did, feel free to leave a like or a comment if you feel like it. You can also follow us on Instagram at Breaking Character Show. If you yourself are creative and you're interested in being on Breaking Character, please see the description box below where you can find a link on how to submit yourself to be on the show. You can also find all of Riley and I's social media down there as well. Next week, I am super excited to have Maria Schwartz on the show. Maria, I'm so sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. There is a high chance that I did, but if I did, I will correct it when we are at your videos next week. So thank you so much again for watching, and we will see you. I almost forgot my own outro. We will see you next Tuesday.